It's a beautiful day to you, our lovely and smart real estate investors across the world. Hope you all are doing well today. Okay, if you're coming across this channel for the first time, this is where we discuss real estate. This is where we talk about buying, selling, short lets. You're buying to keep, you're doing land banking, you're buying to flip, anything that involves real estate transaction here in Nigeria. And also here we share tips and guides on how to buy, where to buy, and the current valuation of property in Lagos, Nigeria. So if you're coming across this channel for the first time, I want to employ you to subscribe. Whenever you subscribe, and of course turn on the notification bell. On a weekly basis, we drop two videos. So today we are going to continue from where we stopped. Integrity checklist: how to identify a good real estate developer. We started this series 2 days ago, and of course, it has generated a lot of reactions. Of course, this is the intention of this. The intention of this video, obviously, is to create awareness and also to expose hidden real estate agendas that you don't know. So last week we talked about how to identify a good developer. What are those criteria you need to follow? We explained depth in-depth analysis of every other thing. So today I'm going to talk about why you need to make this checklist a priority. And today I'm going to be discussing this based on the experiences and our recent discovery in the Nigerian real estate market. Few weeks ago, a real estate consultant that I know very well, was arrested at Shongotedo. And when that happened, we found out that she landed in the police station. Now, to cut the long story short, this lady consultant sold the property at Chevron. The property was around 80 million naira. And after the lawyer of the client, the lawyer of the person that bought the property did some due diligence, he found out that where this particular house, which the man bought, was built, was outside the governor's consent. Yes, of course, we're going to be doing a series on identifying fake land coordinates. So we are going to be doing a lot of series. I'm going to be exposing everything. Of course, I hope you might have heard that a property may have excision, and after conducting a search, it might be just 4 plots that fall inside that excision out of 20 acres. Of course, that's the mystery and the miracle that happened in the Nigerian real estate. So to cut the long story short, the buyer of the property had to arrest the lady. They went to police station, and as I'm talking to you right now, the developer that sold the property is refunding the money. I think I heard the man has paid 65 billion, and of course they are making. Of course, there's an undertaking of that, but that is not obviously the bone of contention. Now, the reason why I'm saying this basically is that when we ask you to do an integrity checklist for a real estate company, what we're trying to do basically is that, number one, this checklist is very important. Now, I talked about helping it to safeguard. Now, in the Nigerian real estate company where manipulation is obvious, in the Nigerian real estate company where exploitation is obvious, in the Nigerian real estate company where everything is possible, this integrity checklist will help you. Number one, they have been what we call title falsification. I'm going to explain this. Of course, we are going to have series 3, and of course, I'll try to round off the entire discussion at series 4. God help me, there's a lot to unravel. Now, if they tell you a property, now I'm going to be doing this. Of course, I gave an experience of what happened at Lekki. Of course, the man was fortunate to get at least 65 million out of the 85 million he paid. Now, we did a search a few weeks ago, and we went to they call the place Alaro City. Alaro City is not so far. Now, when we got to Alaro City, some people told us to acquire a property. When we did the search, we found out that that property falls under the acquisition of the proposed international airport. Fast forward to 2 days after, we went to Ibeju lekki, we charted the property, and we found out that those property is committed. In fact, our recent findings showed that larger portion of that same property, I won't mention the name of the place because there's a developer that has a signboard there in this particular location that is selling property. So for confidential reasons, I won't be discussing the place, but if you want to know further information about the place, of course, you can chat me. Now, we found out that 30 hectares of that same location, 30 hectares of land of that same location has been allocated to a road project. That means there's going to be a road from that. I should have mentioned the name of the place, but from that place in the Ibeju lekki will connect straight to Epe. So government has taken 30 hectares of that land and they've allocated to that project. You now see why we say an integrity checklist is very important. Now, when we talk about this integrity check, is for the benefit of your own investment, so that you won't throw your money in thin air. What most investors have done, those who have bought property without doing this integrity checklist, without involving a professional, what they've done basically is that they have thrown their hard-earned money into thin air. So we found out, to our greatest surprise, after we got this information, going leaving the property and coming back to re-strategize, we found out that there are several companies that have mounted their signboard in that same place selling property to people like you. That is not all. We also discovered, basically, I discovered this recently, thank God to my wonderful surveyor. I hope, I hold this man in high esteem. Working with him presently has opened my eyes to several manipulations that happen in the Nigerian real estate market. Now, according to the information we got, we found out that it is possible for a land, like some portion of a land, to have a title, and they will use the title on that 4 plots to sell the entire land. The man explained how people, when you want to do a land search on the property, all you need to do is just pick a coordinate, take it to land, charts. Do you understand? So we discovered that it is possible for some people. What some people do is that they manipulate coordinates so that, in fact, if they should send a coordinate to you, when you take that coordinate to allow her to go and chat, that coordinate will show that the property has a title. But meanwhile, for that property to show doesn't mean it have it. That means that they've been some manipulations, fair Lagos, fair developers on that property. It is until the survey started explaining some of these things, and I got to understand that, wow, I need to do a series. I need to educate people. I need to call people's attention to this, so that you must be aware. So what happens basically is that an integrity checklist will help you identify the kind of developer you should deal with, the kind of developer you should partner with, the kind of developer you should buy properties from. Like I said in the previous video that I did, presently Ibeju lekki is sitting on a time bomb. There are some places that people chatted last year, 2 years ago, that Ibeju lekki that used to be free. As I'm talking to you right now, we chatted to some places, and government have started putting acquisition on them. So that means those places that were free many years ago are no longer free again. That's just the truth. We need to let you understand the truth of the present. And that's why I said that if you have bought a property in Ibeju lekki, you should start making procedures on how you are going to get your title as soon as possible. The more you wait, the more riskier it becomes. It becomes more risky to the point that you can lose a whole investment. Now, fast forward to Epe, we went to other places as well, and when we got there, we found out that some portion of land that was offered for sale, our due diligence found out that government have allocated that place to an educational system. And surprisingly, or will I say unfortunately, some people have built mansions there. Do you know what that means? So when government is ready for that place, they're going to pull those places down, regardless of what you have built. Now, you now see the reason why an integrity checklist is very, very important. What most people sell as land have not undergo the proper check, the proper verification, the proper certification from Lagos State government. And that's why I've said it several times. You just don't buy a property because they tell you. You buy a property because you have confirmed. Now, this is not to discourage you from making real estate investment. I'm still saying that the process of making real estate investment is as simple, is as transparent, and is as profitable if you use the right person. If you use the person that understands the market, the person that understands search, the person that understands how coordinates can be manipulated, the person that understands the gimmicks of what some real estate developers in Nigeria are doing. Except until you keep engaging people like that, you will keep making mistakes, because most of these people that promote this property to you are after their own personal interest. In fact, some people, after they've even sold to you, you don't get to see them again. Yes, of course, they have been, giving their reward, and of course, whatever happens between you and the developer is your business. So Integrity checklist, basically. So these are the manipulations that have been going on in the Nigerian real estate market. And that is why you need us. That is why we need to be involved from the start to the finish. Like I said in the previous video, the start to finish is not you have bought and they have allocated. No, the start to finish process is you have bought and your property title has been granted. That's when the property you buy for 10 million you can sell for 30 million in the future. That is how the property you buy for 10 million you can sell for 40 million. That is how you can sell your property for 100 million if your property has, if you are, taking the proceedings, the outlaid proceedings for integrity checklist. And you can only do this, and this will help you identify the kind of real estate developer that you should buy from. And that is why we're here. So I still remain at DJR, your number one real estate consultant. Of course, I happen to be the general manager of Clean Homes Investments Limited. Of course, we have properties. Of course, I'll be dropping our company's website. You can check our properties, and of course, if you have inspections, you can do that. So, of course, we also run virtual inspection for many of you who might be in diaspora. So, until I come here again, of course, for the third episode of Integrity Check, and until that, have a nice day and God bless you. Bye for now.